Hi everybody and welcome back. Welcome to the Reconnection Space. This is the space in which we talk about all things reconnection. Reconnection with ourselves, reconnection with our relationships, reconnection with that journey that we are on in life. And my guest this week is a lady that I have really admired from afar, and sometimes we've been able to meet up, which has been amazing. And I've sort of been in touch with this lady for about 2 years now, on and off, and she's been very supportive and runs an amazing company. So we are honoured today here to have Carol Stewart here as our guest on the Reconnection Space. Hey, Carol.
Hi, Ali. Thank you for inviting me on.
You're very welcome. Now, Carol has a wonderful story to tell, which has got her to the place where she is now, which is being self-employed, running Abounding Solutions, which is a coaching business that's aimed at a very specific group of individuals. And I'm going to let Carol talk about that in more detail, because I know Carol will describe that more beautifully than I will. But Carol, you've also agreed to tell us a bit about your journey and what got you to where you are today, because you have really kind of overcome some hurdles, and you've also got some wonderful stories in there to share with us.
Okay, sorry, go on.
So tell people a bit about you've got a real passion for a certain group of people that you work with. So tell the viewers first about who you really love supporting in life.
So I coach women, and I coach all women, but I have a particular passion and speciality working with introverted women. And the reason why I work with introverted women is because I'm an introvert myself. And growing up, I didn't really understand what that meant. I bought into a lot of the misconceptions about introverts that exist. And it was only as I got older and did a lot of work on my development that I really got to understand what introversion was and what it meant, and that it was okay to be an introvert. And I see in the corporate world, because I work with a lot of women in the corporate world, that a lot of the corporate environment is geared towards extroverts. When you look at a lot of the HR processes, the way that meetings are conducted, a lot of it is geared towards extroverts.
I think that's so true. As you know, people often assume that I'm an extrovert because of what I do, and that isn't the case. So I love following your page, and really resonates with me, because you're right. It's being an introvert. People have a real misconception, don't they, about how that impacts your ability.
Yeah, that's right. And once I started to understand that and accept that I was an introvert, because prior to that, I sort of take you back to when I was younger. I used to think I lacked confidence, and it was only as I became when I became a single mum, and I recognised that if I wanted my son to grow up to be old and courageous and confident, I needed to model that behaviour, and I did start to do a lot of work on my development. I need to realise that I was actually quite a confident person. I was doing a lot of things that my more confident friends weren't doing, but it's that I was a quiet person. And I recognised that I was a quiet person. Back then, I still hadn't accepted that I was an introvert. I recognised that I was a quiet person, but I was actually quite confident. And once I accepted that it was okay to be quiet and confident, I actually saw my confidence levels grow. And then it was 2000, I think it was about 2010. Yeah, I think it was about 2010. Where I was working, we did the leadership, the area leadership team. We did the Myers-Briggs test as a group.
Yeah.
And I came out as an ISTJ, as an introvert. And I remember sort of re-adding my scores again and again and again, because I didn't want to be associated with introvert because of all the negative connotations that existed, but there was no getting away from it. And I used to being in extroverted environments. Sometimes I used to feel that I had to be something that wasn't me. And I remember sort of being in like area leadership team meetings, and my manager would say to me, oh, you need to talk up more, you need to do this, you need to speak up more and talk more about what you do. But that just didn't feel right to me because that wasn't who I was. And then it was after I left employment and I did a master's in coaching psychology whilst I was starting my business. And I started looking at a lot of the work of Carl Jung on introversion and extroversion, and really getting an understanding of what it means, and that it's all about how we draw our energy and how we like to recharge and how we in our inner self. There's extroverts like the external stimulation, and once I really got to grips with that, I call it my introvert and proud moment, and I really felt that I was being my true authentic self then. And then over the past few years, I started writing articles about introversion and some of the challenges that introverted leaders have, introverted women have. And I started getting inundated with messages, with emails, comments on my posts about women who were introverted leaders and the challenges that they faced and how they were made to feel that there was something wrong with them. There were some people contacted me about, I remember one particular woman who said she'd been for an interview and they told her that, they really liked her, they thought they were thinking of giving her the job, but they wanted her to justify why they should give it to her as an introvert. And another woman said that she went for a role, this was a senior role to what she was doing. She knew she could do the job, but she didn't get it. 6 months down the line, she bumped into one of the guys that had been on the interview panel, and they knew each other from a long time ago, and so they were talking, and he told her that the reason why she didn't get it was because she was an introvert. And I just think that is disgusting.
It is really, really shocking, isn't it?
It is.
That
it is.
Somebody's personality style, something that has no link, as I say, to ability or capability, can be used as a form of opting out of taking that person on, and the fact that people think that that's okay to say that you didn't get the job because you were an introvert is like, really? That's crazy. But I want to go back to, you said that you started to do your study, and do your masters, but you'd gone through quite a significant life change as well, hadn't you? So you came to study later in life. So tell us how you got to that point where you kind of almost restarted your career.
All right. So prior to starting my business, I've had a long career working in the Ministry of Justice. I started off in a very junior role and worked my way up to a senior role with responsibility for a group of magistrates' courts. And over the years, because I became a single mum and my son was 6 years old, when I left school, I left school not with a lot of qualifications, just some very basic qualifications. Got a job when I was 16 working in the courts, and because I was so young at the time, they offered for me to continue studying until I was 18. But I was now earning my money. I thought, I don't need to study. And so I said, no, I didn't want to. I wanted to work and earn my money. I didn't need to study. But then over the years, I realised that I am actually someone who likes to continuously learn and develop. So I did study part-time whilst I was working. And when I became a single mum, I recognised as well that if I wanted to give my son the best possible start in life, I needed to, certain things that I needed to do. One of those was about sort of furthering myself in my career so that I could provide him with the things that I didn't necessarily have as a child. So I used to study part-time and work full-time. And then in 2011, austerity measures were being introduced in the public sector, and my role was to be deleted. And I thought to myself that I didn't want to be redeployed into another role that I didn't necessarily want, because if I'd stayed, that's what would probably happen. I thought this could be an opportunity for me to do something that I'm totally passionate about and something totally different. And I thought about what it was that I enjoyed doing the most. And when I look back over my career over the years, I'd always enjoyed coaching people. Coaching had been an add-on to what I did as a leader. And I really enjoyed that, helping people to see the things that they couldn't see in themselves and to go on and achieve things. And certainly when I look back over my life, certain situations where people would always come to me for, they've got a problem or they weren't sure what to do. At one point, I even thought about becoming doing counselling.
Yeah.
And I even did a counselling course, a counselling skills course, and I'd get people coming to me with their problems. And I thought, well, that's what I wanted to do. And I was going to pursue counselling, do a diploma in counselling and so forth. And when I was looking at the roles what I could do, they would have meant me taking a pay cut. And as a single mum with a mortgage to pay, I couldn't afford to do that. And so I stayed where I was, pursuing my leadership career. Another thing that I had thought about doing was law, because I did the Institute of Legal Executives IELTS course.
Yeah.
And I was going to pursue becoming a solicitor via that route. But then again, when I was looking at roles, I got offered a job with a solicitor's firm, well-known solicitor's firm. They wanted me to head up a new conveyancing department they were starting, but the salary would have meant me taking a pay cut, even though they said that I could eventually earn far out what I could ever make in the course. I couldn't afford to take that job because I was a single mum, so I decided that I was going to pursue a leadership career within the organisation, and that's what I did. And so in 2011, when I was thinking about my career path to date, what stood out to me the most was that coaching people, and that was what I really enjoyed. And I've done a lot of in-house coaching training, but I didn't have a formal qualification. And I also wanted to get an understanding of the psychology that underpins coaching. So I decided to do a master's in coaching psychology at the University of London. And so that's what I did. I took voluntary redundancy, did a master's in coaching psychology at the same time as starting my business.
That's amazing that you were bringing up your son, making, as many of us do, looking at lots of options, but many options are driven by practical, tangible needs, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The luxury of just going for what you initially think you're going to do, just doesn't work for us. We have to balance what our practical requirements are and our responsibilities are, and this is what I see with so many of the women that I work with and speak with and interview, that a lot of the time that reconnection moment or that reconnection path has been partly about wanting that change, partly about what's been put in their path, and then partly about what they've had to make work. And you certainly have made that path work for you, because you've been on the telly recently, haven't you, Carol? You've got your telly career. So this was because of an award that you won. That's right. Yes, there's an organisation called We Are the City that does a lot of work in supporting female talent and on gender equality, and they have an annual what is called the Rising Star Awards, which is recognising the top 100 women who are below senior leadership level, and that future leaders from different sectors. And they also have what they call a champion, so those people who are championing the cause for these women. And I won a Champions Award for the recognition of the work that I do to champion the cause of women progressing in their careers. And as a result of that, I was interviewed on London Live TV about the award and what it means to me and so forth. So I have to say, people, as well, Carol writes for LinkedIn on a regular basis, and you were also given the title of, was it one of their top 20 LinkedIn voices? Yes, so I was named as one of the UK's top LinkedIn voices. So again, that was
something that came totally unexpected. And out of 21 million UK users, I was one of 12 people that was named a LinkedIn top voice.
So I guess what I'm saying here is if you're not following Carol Stewart, you're missing out, okay? Because I personally, it's not just that I'm interviewing her, you know, we met through me following you on your Facebook group and getting involved, and you arrange meetups and we've met up, you know, through those meetups, and I follow her on LinkedIn, I read those articles. So you can see that you need to be reading what this wonderful lady is writing and listening, because she has honed her craft, you know, in terms of the area of business that you're in. But before we come to the close, I just want to share, your son has had a little bit of he's been a little bit famous recently, hasn't he? Which is a wonderful story that went national. Tell us what happened to your son.
Right. So my son, and when I was working, he was my big motivator. As a single mum, he was my big motivator in terms of me progressing in my career, so that I could give him the best possible start. Yeah. And so he did really well. He qualified as a solicitor. He was working as a solicitor, and he used to DJ as a hobby, something that he did on the side. As a side hustle, as some people might call it. Yeah. And in January, he DJs for this community radio station called Represent Radio, and they provide a lot of young people with skills and experience within the music industry. And so he would DJ there on a Monday afternoon. And in January, Prince Harry and Meghan visited the radio station, and he took out his business card, handed it to Prince Harry, and offered to DJ at the wedding. And that was recorded on video, and it got tweeted, and it went viral. And he was in the news all over the world.
Yeah.
He was in radio, he was in every news you could imagine. Even in Australia, one of my cousins messaged me on Facebook and said, I just seen Giovanni on the television.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
As a result of all the publicity he got from that.
Well, Carol, we've just lost you for a moment, so we're going to hold on for a second. And I think we've got you back now.
Okay, yeah.
So as a result of the publicity that he got from that.
Yeah, so as a result of all that publicity, he gave up his job as a solicitor to focus on his DJing and his events. And his events come for a wedding. He did a remix of ABBA's Dancing Queen.
Yeah.
And he got signed by Sony. Yeah. And so now he's doing what he loves, which is pursuing his passion for music.
Just because he took that chance, he saw his moment, and I can see that clip. And, you know, if you haven't watched it, again, you need to see that, because he actually gives his business card to Prince Harry, and Prince Harry kind of casually pops it in his jacket pocket, you know, and it's just such a classic piece of video, you know, in terms of seeing your moment and taking your moment, which is amazing. So, Carol, to the end of our chat together. Always so much more we could talk about. But my final question to all my guests, as always, is, for you, what does reconnection mean to you?
So for me, reconnection means about connecting with who you really are. So it's about finding yourself, the real you, taking off the masks, or peeling off the layers of pretense, and just being your true authentic self and connecting with that.
Fabulous, thank you. So we hope you've enjoyed this new episode of the Reconnection Space. If you have enjoyed it and you've clicked like, that's fabulous, but also don't forget to click subscribe, because that means that you'll get notified and you'll never miss an episode. We've got some fabulous guests already on there. We've got fabulous guests lined up. If you have someone, or if you have a story that you think people would like to listen to about some time, or your story in your life, or a time that you made change, why not drop us a note, because we always love to hear from you, and we put new episodes out every single week. So once again, we hope you've enjoyed that. We hope you have a safe and mindful week ahead, and we look forward to connecting with you across the Be More world. Thank you once again to Carol for joining us and sharing your reconnection story today.
Thank you, Ali. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.